Hey everyone, it's me, Cameron O'Hearn, and I'm joined here with Dan Driver, Director of Operations of Mass of the Ages, Timothy Flanders. He's the most famous one in the room with us. You guys know him. Um, we're here to tell you about an amazing opportunity coming up. We have Mass of the Ages showing in 7 cities. So we just added a bunch of cities, and you can go and watch Mass of the Ages in theaters, Episode 3, Guardians of Tradition in theaters for free. If you go to latinmass.com/tickets, you can see it at a theater near you. So we're updating the tickets page in the next couple days with all the information for these locations. And after this broadcast, do people still say broadcast? How old am I? Yeah, it's a broadcast.
They say it in Reading, I hear.
Yes, they do.
I hear they do in Reading.
They
Dan
definitely
loves
do.
it.
My Londoner friend, my friend in London always says a broadcast. So
Yeah.
I don't know. They must do it. Broadcast on YouTube. We
You
stream
have a
on
friend
YouTube.
in London besides Dan?
Dan
I'm
is
not
not
in
my friend
London.
in London. Reading people hate Londoners. Am I right?
Well, no,
You guys
maybe
have a
Londoners-
different Premier
yeah,
League,
maybe
right?
We do, yeah. Yeah, we do. We do. It's true.
So after this broadcast, you'll be able to watch the official trailer for Guardians of Tradition. We hope that the teasers that have been leading up to the trailer have been sufficiently teasy and not really revealing anything about the plot. But if you've been watching and paying attention, we have revealed the general gist of what Episode 3 is about. And it's basically this. After Traditionis Custodes, so after Pope Francis restricts the Latin Mass, a group of mothers march from Paris to Rome on a mission to deliver thousands of letters begging him to reverse his decision. So it's a human story. It's very beautiful. We travel to different parts of the world, interviewing people, telling their story. But it's much more than just a film about stories. We have investigations in here. You know, what happened to the Mass after Vatican II, the traditional Latin Mass? What happened after Vatican II? What did the popes do to restrict it or allow it? And then what is behind Traditionis Custodes? So it's a very fascinating film. It's my favorite of the 3, and I just am so excited to bring it to you guys.
And you
some
have
thoughts
you have
you
one
guys
of the
have?
stars of the show here, Timothy Flanders. He'll be signing autographs in Chicago. So
That is not. No, I won't sign any. I will. I mean, I wouldn't refuse someone to their face, but I hope you don't rope me into any sort of thing like that.
there
But
might be some gentle
def-
teasing.
Definitely my favorite. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite one. Number 3. I didn't see the final cut yet, but I saw one of the rough cuts, and my wife and I agreed it was the best one.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny because we had a few hundred people who've seen a cut at some point. But we've been working on it like night and day for literally weeks and weeks and a couple months to get it from, a polished version that a few hundred people have seen to this theatrical version. So I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, Timothy. We have some Ratzinger shots that I think you're going to like. You're going to be like, where did they get that footage
Yeah, you
from?
might not have seen them before. So
It's really exciting. Dan, speaking of Timothy Flanders, Timothy's going to be at the premiere.
Yeah.
Who else is going to this thing?
am
The
am
one
I
in
pointing at
Chicago.
Timothy right now? Is this Timothy?
Yes.
Is that him? Okay, good. Yeah, so he'll be there. We'll have Dr. Kwasniewski there, and both will be a part of the panel, which is going to happen after the showing of the film. We'll also have Dr. Cyrilla, who will also be a part of the panel. Please say a prayer. We have some very... You don't know who they are yet, but I guarantee you that by the end of the film, you'll want to do nothing but just walk up to them and hug them, even though they don't speak your language, even though you've never met them before, even though they're not famous. They will be after this film because they do a very heroic thing. They're going to be there, hopefully, but pray, because visa issues are real. I've experienced them firsthand. So, yeah, please pray for that. And what else do we have, Cameron? What else is going on, or who else are you excited to see?
Well, let me answer some questions, and then I'll tell you that I'm excited to see you there, Dan. I'm excited to hang out with you. I'll explain that in a little bit. Someone says, I see cities scrolling along the bottom, but I only see Chicago and Denver on the website. So we are going to update the website in the next couple days with some more cities. We're just working on getting their pages up today and tomorrow. So
Yeah, you'll see
the rest of the cities there.
By the time most people are watching this, it will be up. But yeah, just check back in. We might even have some up at the end of the day today.
Not based, because we're not in Miami. Hey,
you can have us in Miami
yeah,
if you want.
bring us. Let's do it. Let's do it. Email Dan.
Email screenings@latinmass.com. Screenings@latinmass.com.
We can premiere in St. Louis. Why don't you email screenings@latinmass.com? We'd love to come there.
I just got an email from Brussels today as well, Cameron. You don't even know about this, but
no.
They might.
Screening in Brussels?
I don't know. We'll see.
That's cool. Okay, here's a question.
We can't hear you, Timothy Flanders, if you're speaking. You're muted somehow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see? Look at him.
It's not on my end. You should be able to talk.
Is his thing muted?
Dan, now are you muted?
Well, I just muted my microphone because it looks like we have the same mic, so I was seeing if it changed the lights on mine to see if his microphone was muted at the mic.
Pope Francis, if you're watching this, please invite us to a screening. Email screenings@latmass.com.
Oh, everyone else hears him, but you hear Tim?
What?
Tim?
There's no way you can hear him.
Okay, Tim, say a code word, and if somebody types the code word, we'll know that it's a bug. This is so weird. Anyway, Cameron, what other questions?
Okay, here's the question. Wait, that's not a question. Here's the question. When would it be available on YouTube? And the answer is
March 19th.
The Solemnity of St. Joseph, which is March 19th. Everyone will be able to watch it for free on YouTube. We're not even taking ad revenue. We don't even want your experience to be interrupted by ads. So it's going to be free for everyone on March 19th. Isn't that right, Timothy? Oh. No, why can't I not hear you? This is so sad. I mean, it doesn't show muted on my end.
Strange.
Yeah. So here's something I'd love to talk about just for a little bit. This isn't going to be a very long stream. Some people are saying, I'm just going to check it out on YouTube. People in these cities are saying, I'll just wait till it's on YouTube. There's some reasons why you might want to consider joining us in theaters. It's going to be an amazing experience. So first of all, it's an opportunity to bring friends and family to a showing, a film about the traditional Mass. Maybe they're curious about it. They have questions about it. Maybe they don't have the nuance to kind of think through these things, like with Pope Francis. How can you love the Latin Mass and, like, do you hate the Pope? Are you against the Pope? Are you against Vatican II? These kinds of things. This film does an excellent job painting the picture of the traditional Latin Mass movement today, currently, in the state of the church right now. So it's an opportunity to bring friends and family to this. It's free. The other thing is, second thing, the film has been optimized for theaters. So yes, you'll see it on YouTube. It'll look and sound great. But we've really built this film to have a full experience in the theater. So surround sound, you're going to hear some really beautiful music in the surround sound. You're going to see stunning imagery. We professionally color graded and audio mixed the film. So
what if I have a surround sound system at my house and I just put it on YouTube?
Well, I'm sure your house is not soundproofed like a theater is.
I was trying to tee you up for a very specific answer to the question that you missed.
What's the answer, Dan?
It was. It's like the sound engineer who did this film. He specifically tuned the version that we're taking to the theaters for theaters. That was the difference. Whereas on YouTube, it's just going to be stereo, even if you have 5.1.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I
Oh.
didn't know that. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, that makes sense. Everything would be 5 or stereo on YouTube.
They'll like do a kind of faux 5.1 if you have a 5.1 surround sound system, but at the theaters we have a special digital cinema package that we give to the movie theater that speaks to all of their systems.
There's also
I'm hearing
Yes.
you, but it sounds terrible. But I can hear you.
yeah. Yeah, so this super high class mic died on me. I don't know what happened. So now I've got my nice nasty headphones working.
Those are nasty. Let me see if I can edit your mic. Here, what? Oh, I reduced the background noise. Now try to talk.
Test. Boom,
Okay,
shaka,
that's
boom.
not as bad.
Mic check.
Okay, that's
All right.
We can work with
Well,
that.
guys, Skynet doesn't want us to watch Mass of the Ages. That's why I was attacked. But
Yeah.
never fear, we can get around that.
What
So
if the Terminator came back, but he was just like an electronics, like a microphone or something? Wouldn't be.
It wouldn't
be-
that
really
would not
the
be a
back
movie
of
that you
Valley.
should make. Don't do it.
Okay, my third reason for why you should come to the theater is it really supports our nonprofit. These events, they're free. You can come, and a lot of people come for free. But there's other people who give and donate and hear about the mission and want to really help us bring the Latin Mass to many more people. So come to see us in theaters because you can bring friends and family there. It's free. It's been mixed and produced for theaters. And finally, it supports our mission. So that's why we'd love for you to see it in theaters.
There's a fourth reason that Cameron won't say, but I'll say it. He's going to be at every single screening, so you can shake hands with him, high-five him, ask him questions, grill him, and whatever else. So he'll be
Yes,
there.
It'll be fun.
If you offer him some tobacco for his peace pipe, you can smoke
Yes.
the peace pipe with him as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Because we're Americans, that's what we do in America. Smoke the peace pipe.
Are you
You're
trying-
welcome, Redding.
I'm taking
You're welcome.
notes. I've got
Yeah, take notes, dude.
I think this is just getting together and watching a movie in a theater. Real old school. That's like what we used to do in the 1920s. In fact, the Pickwick Theater, where we're going this weekend, is like it was one of the original film theaters back when they started using these things called moving photos or talking pictures, whatever they call them.
Really?
Yeah. You look it up. It was built in the 20s or 30s. I don't remember, but it's a great communal experience. Get the
Yeah.
trads together. Invite your
That's
friends
right.
and family.
We have about 450 tickets reserved for Pickwick. And that actually doesn't... you might not show if you have a ticket. We don't know until we go. But that doesn't include we have a couple dozen staff that's not accounted for. So we're going to have a pretty good turnout, especially at Chicago. And we're hoping to fill up the theaters at the other locations. Carlos likes the teasers.
That's
I
awesome.
hope they're teasy. You're going to love the trailer. Trailer's a solid 2.5 minutes long.
Somebody got very confused with one of the teasers. They were like, "This movie's about homeschooling? What? That's not traditionalist. You can be a homeschooler without being a traditionalist."
This movie's about raising bees?
Yeah.
What's going on? Nikki asks, is there any way to request a showing in your area? Dan?
Screenings at latinmass.com.
Yeah, screenings at latinmass.com, and then...
That's an
we
email
can
address,
send you
by the way.
details.
Yeah.
Same for you, Jordan. Just email screenings at latinmass.com. We can figure it out. Yeah, great. Well, any parting words before we send it over to our trailer?
I can't wait for the trailer.
Well, y'all donate to latinmass.com/give, y'all. And here's why. Because this whole apostolate, latinmass.com, Mass the Ages, the trad movement for many years has not had a lot of resources. We've been a small movement driven, as episode 1 and 2 show, especially number 2 with the elderly trad godmothers showed. I mean, this is a movement where our forefathers in the trad movement have sacrificed with very little resources, passing down this ancient Roman rite to us. And we haven't had something like Mass of the Ages. We haven't had something like LatinMass.com until now. We've had the remnant newspaper, like we've had newspapers, these little communities, these homeschool co-ops, these various things that have passed on the faith to us. And we've already seen like Michael Matt. I love Michael Matt doing great work. He's already gotten into using the so-called new media, as they said, they called it in the 1990s or whatever. But now we have LatinMass.com is something that can help the entire trad movement with producing this high quality media content. This is like Word on Fire caliber for trads, for the trad movement. This is something the trad movement has never had until this moment. This is why you need to go to LatinMass.com/give. This is something that helps all trads worldwide.
Another reason is we can fix Timothy's microphone too.
Yeah, please. We have to afford a new mic. Yeah, I mean, films. Like, we have such an opportunity in front of us with films. Like, films are such a powerful way to communicate a message. I think it was Plato who said, might have been Aristotle, you know a nation by the stories they tell. And stories or culture is really formed by stories. You know, the reason we see things like all these agendas, I don't want to say any words that'll get us banned. You know, the agendas, the social agendas that are out there that we disagree with. There is a downstream effect from the stories we're telling. These are the stories that have been told 5-10 years ago that are now like, it's just commonplace that I might have two dads, or, my gender's in question. Like, these things now have become commonplace because we're downstream from the stories we've been telling. So think of this as the beginning of something much bigger. Like, we want to keep telling stories like this, and we're playing the long game. We're changing perception over the long term. And episode 3 is just the beginning of all that.
Well, one more point I want to make is that the Latin, the whole point, the whole thing that we're fighting for when we talk about the Latin Mass is something, the best way to convince someone of that is to bring them to a Latin Mass. That's the most important thing you can do to convince someone of the argument we're trying to make here. The second best thing is to watch Mass of the Ages, not read a book. And the reason is because reading the book is very important. You got to get all those citations. That's great. But you really have to experience and see and hear the Latin Mass, because that is sort of the film is the best medium to communicate the liturgical experience that is the ancient rite, not a book. Even though the book's important, but that's third best. And that's why this is so important for the trad movement in particular, to have the media aspect of it, because of what we're fighting for. This is not just like having a political program or some other topic that's important in the church. This particular medium is the best suited thing, second best only to actually going to the Latin Mass, and that's why it's so important. So go donate your Starbucks money to latinmass.com/give.
You know, Father Closter, he did those surveys online about the traditional movement. I think you've seen the surveys, even if you can't put a name to the face. But he did a survey asking why people attend the traditional Mass. Like, what got you going there? And you would assume it's something to do with your peers or your family. But people who decide to go, not the people who are born into it, but the people who decide to go, the greatest reason they decided to go was something they witnessed. It was seeing something beautiful. It was seeing the Mass. It was seeing something online. Or it was hearing the music. It was witnessing something. And that's what film is. There's something called narrative transportation, which is you're sitting on your couch in your living room, and now you're on Arrakis in the planet of Dune, and your brain switches over and you think you're there. It's a very powerful thing that we've been formed by story, and we can be transported to a new place. And that's actually why films are so effective at changing people's minds, is because they have this power to transport you. So yeah, just what Timothy said. Is there a better way, short of going to an actual traditional mass, to get someone to witness the power and beauty of tradition? Yeah, so email screenings@latinmass.com if you want to go to a theater near you. And in 10 minutes from now, we're going to premiere our official trailer. So thank you all for joining, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Hope to see you in person at a screening. God bless you. Bye.